What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Plays, and today on what I think is gonna be considered Dress to Kill. I'm not really sure because it is a weird one, but today we are taking a look at all of the UI customizations. Now, if you guys had tuned into yesterday's video, you'll know that I actually purchased one of these customizations live, and I was really shocked at how nice it looked. So, you know, after wiping away my tears from last night's Game of Thrones and conducting my death list with Mogamu, I went ahead and started doing some kind of like rotations throughout all of the different backgrounds and the themes and whatnot, and doing some combinations to see exactly what we could come up with. And I figured, why not go ahead and share that with you guys so that you'll know exactly what you're getting into when you make your purchases. So without ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. So for those of you guys who don't know, there is a way to customize your UI, and it's very, very simple. All you got to do is go into your options, I think, and then hit up your interface. Now, as you can see right here, the very first thing that is selected is UI customization. You can go ahead and click on that, and bam, you're brought to this window right here. So I'm starting everything out with what I think is the basic one. We've had these options for quite some time, so I'm not really 100% sure if this is what you start out with innately, but I figured we'd go ahead and start things out here. So let's run through how everything works. So the theme is going to be the colors that you see in the background. So think of that as your color theme. Your background is going to be any of the patterns or any of the kind of like embellishments that you see going on in the background. Then of course there are the sounds as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I mean by this. So as you can see right here, the legacy theme is the colors in the background. If I decide to choose something like the Fortuna theme, you'll see that the colors in the background change dramatically. Let me go ahead and move that back into the legacy theme. So again, we're going and changing back to the original colors. Then, as you can see right here, I can select a different background. So let's select that Fortuna background. And as you can see, we keep the legacy color scheme, but we change up what the background looks like. Now, of course, there are also legacy sounds and Vitruvian sounds, which we'll go ahead and take a look at a little bit later in the video because I'm gonna have to tweak the audio a little bit so you can hear it a bit more, but you can also change the audio just slightly. But I think the biggest thing that you guys are the most curious about is, of course, the different backgrounds and themes and how they all come together. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the Equinox background. This one is the plainest of all of the backgrounds, and it just has a bit of a gradient from the bottom to the top. And you guys can actually see that here real quick. We'll take a look at the Wolf of Saturn 6 backdrop. And you can see it right there, how it kind of gradiates from one color into the other. And it also uses the lightest colors as kind of like the insignia here. And then, of course, in the background, that's where you see the darker colors. Very, very simple. So let's go ahead and jump back into it. Then we'll go and we'll circulate through all of the different variants of that. So we're going to go ahead and keep the background the same, but we're going to go through all of the different colors. Now, the Baroque color scheme is this very kind of like sandy, beigey tone. It's got a lot of golds in there as well, as you'll see in other customizations, but at its very base, it's kind of like goldy, beigey, little bit of gray, and a tiny hint of rose. You'll see that in a different color scheme. Now, this is the Equinox theme. This is a colorblind friendly UI theme. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, I feel really, really bad because I left it out in a previous video called the Just Do It list. One of the things that completely skipped my mind, and I was like, oh my god, Rob, you are such an idiot, was to toss the colorblind, what is it called, option into the gameplay modes as well. So that's definitely one of the things that should have been on my Just Do It list, because as you guys know, Headshot is another YouTube creator that I'm very friendly with, and he is colorblind and he has a lot of struggles. So if you are colorblind, the Equinox theme is definitely going to be for you. Another colorblind scheme is the high contrast theme. So you'll see here, it's like this deep, rich kind of like teal color, and you'll see a lot of yellows in it in other customizations. But let's go ahead and move on to the Fortuna theme. So this is very purpley. There's a lot of pinks, there's a lot of teals in there. You don't really see it in this customization, but you know, this is the very, very basic one. Grineer is a lot of deep greens and oranges. So you'll see that in other ones. The legacy theme is this cool. I know it's basic, and I'm pretty sure it's the one that everybody gets, but it's kind of like this like like gray-y teal-y into this like gray-y green-y. It's very, very pretty. I know it's weird, but they're definitely colors that I would end up using. I hate admitting that I like this theme. This is the Lotus theme. But it's really pretty. It's very fucking like, it's also that kind of like slightly washed out color tone, but it's got the like the pretty like kind of like gray corals, a little bit of magenta, a little bit of blue in there. It's really, really pretty, but as we know, the Lotus is an evil, maniacal, horrible creature being, you know, just saying, hashtag spoilers. Moving on, this is the Nidus theme, and the colors on this one are really, really pretty, but I gotta break it to you, as much as I love this color scheme. Okay, I'm gonna reveal a secret for you guys right now. I don't use dark mode in a lot of things, and I don't mind not using dark mode in a lot of things, but if you are a dark mode person, this Nidus theme is gonna be terrifying. So as you can see right here, you got a lot of brightness going on, and if you go into your, I believe it's your inventory, it's very bright. Is a very, very bright. I love like the pinks and the kind of like slight soft goldy rosiness. It's very, very pretty, but I think for anybody who has issues with maybe it being a little too bright, I'm gonna say that the Nidus theme, as pretty as the colors are, might be something that you wanna skip over. That goes for a couple of the other UI customizations as well. So that's the Nidus theme. Then we have the Baroque theme, which is the same. It's more grayish, it's a little bit cooler, but you do get a lot of golds as accent colors in there. So that one's also a very, very bright one. Let's skip over to the Tenno theme, because that is also a very bright one. This one has more of that blue gray feel that we were getting from the kind of like legacy one, but this one is kind of like the brighter version of it. Very, very pretty, but again, it's very bright. So for anybody out there who does not like the lighter UIs and prefers to keep their things in dark mode, it's gonna hurt your eyes a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into the Stalker theme. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm ashamed that I like this. I do like it. I like it, and I'm ashamed to say that I like it, but I enjoy this one very, very much. I'm not gonna use it because I don't want to embrace my inner edgelord like that. I feel guilty. But I think that you'll see with a couple of the other backgrounds that it's actually very freaking nice. And then lastly, I think that the Vitruvian is like the darker version of the Baroque. It still keeps a lot of the golds, but instead of having the very, very light background, it actually brings in some navy blue aspects, which is very, very pretty. So let's go ahead and mix things up. We're gonna, oh, and Baroque. Did I say Baroque? I did say Baroque. Okay, well, you know what? That's where we're at. We'll go back to the legacy theme, and we'll move into the Baroque background. So as you can see right here, this is one of the ones that I just discovered. So you can see the patterning that Baroque has on his skills, kind of like sitting there in the back, kind of surrounding your Warframe. It's very pretty. But what I like is, number one, you can see this soft zigzag pattern in the back. It's a whisper of that. In addition, you have okay, I'm assuming it's stars because it looks like stars, but it also could be sand particles. And then you also get this kind of like dusty, hazy background. Now, as we know, Baroque is like the master of wind and sand and you know, all that bullshit, right? So a part of me is like, that's probably like their indication of like a sandstorm. But to me, it kind of looks like a starry galaxy or a starry night. It's very, very pretty. I love this background a lot. So let's go ahead and pair it up with Baroque. I don't know if you can catch it, but are you seeing the soft rosiness blending in with the gold to create some slight overlap to make a kind of rosy goldness? I'm loving it, except for the fact that the gold is a little too gold here. It's a little too orangey for me, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. I think it's really, really pretty. Moving along, it looks great with the Equinox theme too. Get some black and white mode action going on in there. I love it, love it, love it. Fortuna theme is a little fucked. I don't know how they shipped this, because it looks a little fucked. You can see kind of like, I don't know if you see this harsh square edge that is going on right here. I'm sure that's not meant to be. It's a little too strong. You can see that harsh square edge placed there as well. And a part of me is like, who did this one? You need to say, you can even see the harsh square edge over here. Who did this one? you need to call somebody and you need to let them know that there is something wrong. You could see a harsh edge right up here as well. You could not see that on any of the other color schemes, but this one. So Fortuna does not mix well with Baroque, even though Baroque is available in Fortuna. That's weird. Moving along, we've got the Grineer theme. This just makes me think holiday pumpkin, like squash. This is what I was saying, that there's a lot of orange prevalent in the Grineer theme, but it just makes me feel very squash. The high contrast theme, this is where you start seeing that bright yellow color mixed in with the blue. I think it's kind of cool. It's not necessarily a me thing, but I definitely know that there are going to be some people out there that really like it. With the legacy theme, the legacy theme is just classy. Even though I know it's like basic, but you know what? It's not, thank you DE for giving the basic look a very classy tone. Now, again, I'm gonna hate to admit it. The Lotus theme I really like. It's very galaxy, it's very pretty, it's very tropical, but she is still an evil creature, sentient being, and she should be banished into the depths of whatever hellhole she came from. Then we have the Nidus theme, also very pretty, but also very bright. I love the color combination so much that I'm almost tempted to just still roll with it, even if it hurts my eyes. Baroque theme I like a little bit less when it comes to the Baroque background. I don't like the way that that deep gold works on top of the kind of a little too cool light, a little too cool background. The Stalker theme, oh, I know, I'm telling you right now, this looks good, but don't tell my friends. It looks fucking good. It actually looks good. It looks like a blood galaxy. And I like blood galaxies. It's just very comforting. It's like I'm back in my mother's womb. That's dark. Moving on to the brightness of the Tenno theme, I actually like this one, and I like this one second to the Nidus one if you're gonna go for the bright themes. And then Vitruvian looks quite good as well. It's not my favorite of the bunch. I still think I like the Stalker theme and the Lotus theme. What is wrong with me? Let's change the background real quick. So, you've already seen the Equinox background. Let's jump into the Fortuna background. I really like the background on this one, mainly because of the fact that, as you can see right here, you are getting like these cool kind of like panels that shift. It's very techy. I like it. And in the background, you get this kind of pattern that almost reminds me of like a map, like you know when you kind of like look at a map from the top down and you see all of the little striations that indicate the height of something. Really like it. So that's it with the legacy theme. But let's try it with the Baroque theme. This is where you really see that rose gold. So you see that kind of gray beige, and this almost inspires me to do like some fashion framing with it, because I love that kind of like rosy washed out tone with this kind of gray color. Love it. And I do feel like the orange is a little strong, but I mean, you get what you get. Equinox theme looks fantastic, and you can almost see that the background is not just black, but it's slightly, and I don't know, for the rest of you guys, let me know if I'm insane, because I feel like it looks slightly purplish, like a really deep, dark raven kind of purple. Then, of course, the Fortuna theme. With the Fortuna, you get to see all of the crazy neon colors. They're really bright. I want to say, are we going to call that a seafoam green, like a really intense seafoam green with some magenta and like an intense powder blue? Like almost a periwinkly blue. Very pretty. And of course, it better be. It's a theme. We've got the Grineer theme, again, looking like a fucking pumpkin. Am I crazy, or does it look like a pumpkin? High contrast theme. This one is a little weird for me, because you actually see the gaseousness is the yellow in there. I would almost assume that the yellow would have been right here, where this like deep, dark, almost black, maybe navy blue is in there. It could be black, for all I freaking know. But I'm kind of disappointed in how the high contrast looks in there. I feel like it could look better. We saw the legacy theme. Again, it's got that washed out gray and washed out blue look. Big fan. The Lotus theme. I like it. Again, very pretty. And then we're moving into the Nidus theme, so prepare to be blinded. Yes, it is super bright. Usually I like the Nidus theme on a lot of things. I don't like it as much here. I don't feel like the rosy tones are as pretty on the background, and you lose a lot of the texturing that we had, you know, all of the little lines. You don't really see it as much, so I'm not a big fan of that. Same thing goes for the Baroque theme. You get to see a bit more of the dark gray, which I like, but that gold is just looking like a shit stain. Sorry. Just being honest, and again, we visit the Stalker theme, and it looks good, and it looks good, and it hurts my soul. We're moving on. The Tenno theme, it's fine. It's passable. It's not my favorite. The Vitruvian, though, does look fucking good. I'm glad that they made that blue really pop, and you can kind of see it as wispiness in the background. You see a little bit of this blue, like, kind of like off-screen, maybe like lens flare that's going on. Very, very pretty. So let's go ahead and change the background into the Grineer background, and I really don't know what to compare this to. It's a bunch of circles and something that kind of looks like a vulva in the background. Is that supposed to be a vagina? I'm not sure. Maybe because it is the Grineer Queens, they wanted to like say, here, you are being birthed from our Grineer vagina. Listen, to each their own, right? There's the Baroque theme running with that gold and the beigey tone yet again. You know what I like though? I don't know if you could see it, like look very close. There's almost like this cloth texture to it. Do you see that little texturing in the background? Looks a little cloth-like. Again, there's the Equinox theme. I'm liking this theme a little bit more and more every time I see it. You can see more of the texture there, and you actually get to see this cool texture in the back of the vagina. So that's really, really cool. Definitely never gonna use this background. We've got the Fortuna theme, and this one brings out a lot of the little blobules, the little blob swirls in the back. Looks very, very cool like that. But then, you know, you got the neon. What are you gonna do? Grineer theme, again, looks like a pumpkin or a squash in some way, shape, or form, and it looks even more squash-like now because of the circular background of it. We have the high contrast theme, which is just a lot of blue, and again, we don't see very much of the yellow, which makes me very, very sad. Legacy theme. The Legacy theme can make a lot of things work. And in the Legacy theme, you see a lot of the swirls a lot more. And I'm not talking about the line swirls, but like the gaseous swirls. Squirrels, not squirrels, but actual swirls. Like that cloudy pattern that's in the background. Which I think is really, really pretty. The Lotus theme, a lotus with a different kind of lotus. That's just a lot of vagina. And, you know, to each their own. We have the Nidus theme, which I think does not do this pattern very much justice at all. So if you're looking at the Grineer theme and you're like, maybe I could pair Nidus with it. No, because you really can't see anything with it. The Orokin theme is very, very similar. I feel like there's a little bit more contrast in it, so you do get more of the background of each. But still not my favorite. We have the Stalker theme, which for a second, I thought it was going to look like a bloody vagina. But I'm glad that DE decided to not go that path. It's actually kind of nice again. Ugh, I hate saying it. Tenno theme. I actually, for once, I like the Orokin theme over the Tenno theme in this one. I don't feel like you get as much contrast with this one. And then the Vitruvian theme, which has overall been one of my favorites. I actually like the Vitruvian theme a lot here because you almost see some of like, I don't know, some weird kind of like, I don't know, distortion with the pattern in the background. Anyway, let's go ahead and change things up. Let's go with the Legacy background. This one is going to be very, very simple. As you can tell, it's clouds. So Baroque, that's Baroque's theme, beigey clouds. Then the Equinox theme, which is like purple and white clouds. Fortuna theme, which is dark purple and, you know, light purple clouds. The Grineer theme just looks like a swamp. Just looks like you're in a gaseous, turdy swamp. Here we have the high contrast theme. It's just the blue background. Legacy theme. This one's pretty. I like this. It looks like, you know, like almost Aurora Borealis-y. The Lotus theme, again, it's pretty. It's kind of tropical, and it's using some of the purples and the corals as like the highlight color. Very pretty there. The Nidus theme, you just blinded. Really, you don't get to see any of the smokiness in the background. I mean, if you squint hard enough. Orokin theme, same thing goes for that. If you just want a very clean background with maybe some slight texturing in there, you get that. The Stalker theme, again, I hate to say it, it kind of delivers. If you want to, you know, feel like you're a blood cell floating around in an artery, that's where you want to go. The Tenno theme, all of the light ones don't work very well with this one because you can't see the gaseousness. And then the Vitruvian theme, which I think is just consistently pretty. So Now we gotta go to the Stalker background, which I don't want to admit to liking, but I kind of do like. I don't think that it works with every single one. Like, I don't really like it with the Vitruvian thing, but let's start from the top. So as you can see right here, the Stalker one has this, like, gas cloud down at the bottom. It's got all of the smokiness, and then it's got the Stalker head face shape in the background. It's very kind of, like, edgy, it's grungy. I kind of do really like it. The background has almost like a paper texture, like they've got some watercolor on there as well, or maybe in this case with the Baroques it looks like some dried up semen. Maybe not the look that everybody's going for, but who knows? Who knows? And then here we get it in a black and white version with more of the semen staining in the background. That's probably why I like this, isn't it? Fortuna, you get a bit more of a neon theme to it. I feel like I'm sad because with Fortuna, we usually get that pop of that like electric green, which I would have liked maybe for the dots in the background, but they did not do that. And we also didn't get as much of the reddy violets that sometimes the Fortuna has. Kind of disappointing. The fuck is this? It makes it look more vagina-y than it needs to. I don't know why there is a red opening in the middle, but we're just not gonna address it, okay? So here we have the high contrast theme. This one is just weird, because I don't remember there being any kind of like crazy greens in the background, and the yellow is like this weird muddled mustard. I'm gonna say no to that one. Looks like the Stalker one has some work. This one's fucking pretty. Stalker with the legacy background, I will chime in for. I like how the white is not like a pure white. It's almost like white with a little bit of pinkiness to it. The smoke is this kind of like seafoam green smoke, and you get like these yellow energy trails. I kind of like it. Legacy kind of kills it. Lotus theme. The Lotus and the Stalker. Why would I not be surprised that they kind of sort of work well together? I'd almost wish that the blue was in the background instead and then the coralness was up in front. But I still think it looks nice. Then we have the Nidus theme. I actually don't mind this. I think the grunginess, like, because of the fact that the Nidus coloration kind of like washes everything out, you just get a little bit of the grunge. So I think it's pretty, and the white smoke with just a little bit of a hint of pinkiness to it is very, very pretty. So if you're gonna rock with the Nidus theme on anything, I think it works with Stalker. Same thing goes for the Orokin. I think it looks nice as well. You get a little bit more of the texture in the background than you did with the Nidus theme. So I think that's very, very nice. Stalker theme with Stalker colors, too edgy for me. I mean, I'm gonna say no. And like this, the smoke doesn't look as good. I'm just being honest, okay? I'm not gonna double down. The Tenno theme kind of looks blah. I don't like this one on there. And then we have the Vitruvian theme, which I think it looks all right with. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our last theme, which is the Vitruvian background. It is actually one of my favorites. It looks very Orokin, but darker, you know what I mean? So I really, really like all of the Orokin text on there. I love the kind of like Easter egg shaped and all of these little funnely things on the side. I love the pulses. You see like the animation pulse of the circle. It's very, very cool. And it is one of the first ones they came out with. So let's start with the Baroque theme. This makes it a little bit brighter. You get more of the yellow. I'm sad that I didn't see as much of the rose goldiness in here. Like, just maybe like soften the background a little bit and make it a little bit rosier, because all we really get are these little striations. Then we have the Equinox theme, which it looks fantastic with. It's very graphic, very geometric. You don't get as much of this purple though, which makes me sad. Speaking of purple, we have Fortuna, which I think works absolutely fantastic with it. You get to see a lot of those neon-y kind of colors popping in the background. I wish that they had like used the kind of bright green a little bit more, but it does work out there. And then we have that with the Grineer theme. I just don't like the Grineer colors. It just really makes me think of squash. Like cucumbers and squash. The high contrast theme. This one, if you're going to use the high contrast theme on anything, this is my seal of approval. I feel like it's a little kiddish, if I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like it's a little like race car-ish, like Hot Wheels colors, but at the same time it makes good use of that bright yellow and the intensity of the blues. So I do like that one a lot. The Legacy theme, oh, that looks so good. It looks really, really good with the Vitruvian background. I really don't know which one is my favorite combination for it, but that's definitely going to be one of the ones. I also really like the Lotus theme one with this as well. I think it's very pretty, and the Lotus is kind of mimicked in these petal shapes down here. Of course, it's not like a literal translation, but I think it's very pretty. Nidus. I like it. This is very, very subtle. It's extremely subtle. And I know people are like, Rob, what are you talking about? But I love these little shapes. I love how it's just there, but it's not necessarily obtrusive. If your eyes like the lights, then this is definitely going to be one for you. The Orokin theme feels a lot more Orokin with the Vitruvian background. You see what I was saying? Like, the Vitruvian and the Orokin are basically like just mirror images. Like, one's the dark version, one's the light version. Because I think that the Orokin color scheme looks really, really good with this one as well. Then we have the Stalker theme, which... fucking, it delivers. It fucking looks good, okay? I mean, I'm not gonna embrace my edgelord moment every fucking day of my life, but I have to say, it does not, like, the contrast on it, the colors they used is not bad. Tenno theme delivers on this one as well if you like a bright version. Like, basically the Legacy and the Tenno are just the light and dark versions of each other. And then the Vitruvian theme, of course, it's the Vitruvian theme on the Vitruvian background. It fits. Why the frick not? So I think... what I'm gonna roll with for now is I'm gonna use the Baroque theme. I'm gonna use the Baroque theme with the Baroque background. Am I gonna use the Baroque theme with the? No, I'm gonna use the Lotus theme on the Baroque background. The Baroque theme. Fuck it. We're just gonna go full Baroque. Now we're gonna listen to the sounds. I'm gonna turn up the background real quick. So please pardon me while I do that, and I hope that this does not fuck shit up, okay? I just pray for my soul. It might. I'm not going to turn it up all the way. There you go. So we have the Legacy sounds, as you can see right here, and I'm just going to play sound. You can hear that, right? Does it change? No. So let's go ahead and listen to the Vitruvian sounds. Now, to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of this is basically just kind of like click sounds and like the scrolling sounds, so it's not really something that you necessarily need to invest in. I'm not sure if they actually make you pay for the different sound packs, but just in case, for future reference, if you do want to zhuzh things up. But I want to show you just a couple things to close this out. I know this has been a really long video. Wow, it's a really fucking long video. But we're here. So I want to point out the things that your UI affects. So as you can see right here, Wolf of Saturn 6. Hi, Nora. It affects your inventory. It affects your inventory. There's the trade chat window. It's very pretty. Look at that. Look at that gaseousness. It affects that. It affects trade. It affects the kind of like screens right here where you take a look at these things, which I think is kind of cool. But at this moment in time, a part of me is just waiting for DE to implement more of the UI into things, because legitimately, if you take a look at so many things that are available, it does not affect them. You can actually do mods, abilities you'll be able to see, which is very, very pretty as well. You can just kind of see the coloration of those things, but not necessarily anything beyond that. By the way, for those of you curious, this does reflect your energy colors. So whatever energy colors that you have equipped on your Warframe, it's going to be shown on there as well, just in case you guys are curious. But as you can see, the mod screen, it's got a little bit of a loading screen ready for you. But beyond that, does the ITAN screen have it? ITANs? No, not even that. And that is one of those things where I'm kind of like, DE, you know, we're giving our plat to get all of these UI screens. Can you please, I'm sure that there's about a million other things that they're working on, but we are paying, Warframe money for this kind of stuff. So part of me is like, can we make something happen, please? Arcane screen is very pretty. Look at that. I know that for a fact that you can go ahead and take a look through it. It's very, very nice. Components? No. All right, so that about does it for this episode. I hope that, this kind of brought to light what the UI screen looks like, the different combinations. If you guys have a specific combination that you guys really enjoy, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section below. If there are certain color schemes that you'd like to see implemented, go ahead and toss that there, or any other themes that you think would be really cool to have as well. Regardless, that does about do it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. And for dear Lord God, hit the notification bell. I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube these days. I'll leave a link in the description to the weird tweet post that some creators were putting out. And they were like, we don't notify everybody that subscribes. I'm like, what's? I mean, I kind of sort of knew, but listen, different day. We'll have a chat. See you guys next time. Bye.